Hello, hello, my friends. A little bit late, but hey, I suppose late is better than never. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my late September candle chat. This is a video series that I like to do on my channel, usually twice a month, where I share with you candles that are currently in my burn rotation. I give you kind of just maybe some initial post burn thoughts, or maybe I've got a little bit of a haul, or maybe, I don't know, maybe these are candles that I haven't gotten around to doing a dedicated post burn review on yet. So, yeah, this is just a fun series that I like to do. I know a lot of my fellow content creators here on YouTube sometimes do this on a weekly basis. Honestly, you guys, my schedule right now, I will talk about that at the end of this video, but yeah, I've been a very busy girl, hence why this video is going up a little bit later than I typically would have liked it to have gone up. So we all know that I like to talk, and I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter for you. But after I talk about some of these candles, I will be just using the end of this video to share with you guys some thoughts that I have about things that I have seen being mentioned in a couple of Facebook groups, and just kind of throw in my 2 cents on a lot of it. And yeah, just give you kind of a little bit of a life update. So let's go ahead and dive on in with this video. I'm going to go ahead and start off by talking about the candles that I'm currently burning right now, because honestly, if I don't talk about them now, I will forget at some point throughout the course of this video. So at the moment, I am currently burning Homeworx's Autumn Vineyard. That is a new fragrance, and that one was sent to me in PR from the brand. I am a brand ambassador for Homeworx and Cringle. You guys know I always share my honest thoughts regardless of whether a candle was sent to me or not. But so far, so good on this candle. So I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me right now, but I will tell you that when I initially chose that candle, Homeworx does allow us, just peeling back the curtain a little bit, when they send their ambassadors the options to receive PR, they oftentimes will give us a list of candles. Like they'll say like pick one or pick two from this collection. And when Autumn Vineyard was presented as an option, my eyes usually always go for brand new fragrances, just because I feel like those are the ones that people are going to want an opinion about the most. And I feel like that would probably benefit my channel the most. And I'm also genuinely curious. But when they send those candles to us, or like when they send the candle names to us, oftentimes they don't include the fragrance notes. So I was expecting a candle that probably would have been a little bit grape-like, which we all know, I feel like maybe like grape or Merlot type of fragrances have been having a little bit of a moment over the last few months. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and try that one out. I'm very happy to tell you guys that it's not a grape scent to my nose. It is definitely more, if you are somebody who likes maybe more like woodsy, but not like woodsy in terms of like a vineyard wood, instead of it being like outdoorsy in the forest type of wood. It's not like foresty woody, but it is just a very nice fragrance. There is kind of a muskiness and a sandalwood note that comes out in it. But there is something slightly, it's not even really super fruity. I feel like the woodsy notes kind of tone down any type of like fruity aspect that you might get from it. Maybe from like, I don't really know my wines that well, to be honest with you. But it's not a boozy fragrance. It's very nice, and I have been enjoying it. So I do plan to post my dedicated review on that one, hopefully within the next week. But I am enjoying the fragrance. Is it backup worthy for me? No, but it is performing quite well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I will do some, like I said, a further in detail type of review on that one, but I'm looking at it right now because it's burning right behind the camera here. But burn so far is very clean. Strength and throw is around a good solid 7.5 to 8 here in my open concept. So it's performing well, and the fragrance is nice, but I'll go into more fragrance details just because I don't have the notes right in front of me. So it's kind of harder for me to really pull it apart and give you a good description here. But yeah, dedicated review should be coming up on that one soon. And then currently I'm also burning it. You guys know that I like to burn, like I have like combinations going on where I'll burn more than one fragrance at a time. So currently in my bedroom, I have Merlot vines from Country Candle. That was part of the, was that their fall lineup? I think it was their fall lineup. That was one of the new fall candles. And then I'm also burning from their Reserve collection, the Merlot candle over on the other side of the house. So that's a nice combination. But another candle that I have really been enjoying burning with this Autumn Vineyard, and you guys might be a little bit surprised by this combination, is one of the new Kringle Reserve candles, which is Mid Autumn Moss. So the fragrance notes on this are moss, dirt, green, fresh, herbal, fir, and wood. And here we go again, you guys. You guys know when I did my initial like cold sniffs impressions on these reserve candles, this one I think was maybe the lowest one that I gave an opinion on, and I actually like it a lot more when it is burning. It's very fresh. It does have a little bit of like a dirt element to it, but this is going to sound like an oxymoron. It's like a clean dirt type of smell. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I do get some of that like green herbaceous mossy note in here. But I like it. It's not as dirty as like some of the other Halloween candles that have come out. There's definitely a green note in here, but you do also get an element of dirt. And honestly, I do smell a little bit of those base notes of fir and wood in here. I've actually liked this quite a bit. Now, I've only burned it like 3 times, so I don't really have like good, full, in-depth thoughts on this one yet. But this candle, because that Autumn Vineyard one has a little bit of like a woody element to it as well, the two of them combined really complement each other. But so far, I will say that this one, the first couple of burns on it were around like, I would say like about a 6.5, 7 for me in terms of strength and throw. But we will go ahead and see the more that I burn this one, how it does. But so far, I'm really surprised by how much I like that fragrance on burn. You know what? I think I forgot to pull it out, but I did want to give you guys an update on another reserve candle from Cringle. I'll pop up a picture here of it. It is the Japanese maple fragrance. And I did see my friend Melanie gave her review on this. Did she give a review? Did she give a? I don't think she did. Maybe she talked about it in one of her weekly candle chats. But I will tell you guys, if you are eyeing that candle, you guys know the reserve collection was sent to me in PR, but I always tell you, I'm honest with you. The Japanese maple, I am having a very similar experience as she has had in that it is very light. I mean, like maybe like a 2 in terms of strength and throw. I've burned it a couple of times now in like my bedrooms, which are more closed concept, and I have not been able to smell it very well. So that candle has been very disappointing because it is a nice fresh fragrance on cold. But I will tell you guys right now that if you are contemplating purchasing Japanese maple, I'm going to tell you, don't do it right now because it's so far not performing well for me. So just wanted to let you guys know that. And again, I know that Kringle right now, that is one of the topics I'm going to talk about at the end of this video, things that I have seen going on in the Facebook group. So if you want my thoughts on some of that, just make sure you stay tuned. A fragrance that is not disappointing me, and I can't remember if it, oops, sorry, I hit my mic. I can't remember if this, I know it sold out and it came back in stock. And at the time that I'm filming this, I didn't check before I filmed again. I think it might be sold out again, but I'm not sure. It is Kringle Candles Skull and Sonnet. This is from the Halloween collection. Fragrance notes on this are bourbon, tobacco, sandalwood, suede, amber, and oak. And we all know that when I saw these fragrance notes, I was like, oh, I'm going to love that candle. And you guys, I am loving this. This reminds me an awful lot of one of my favorite perfumes, which is a discontinued scent from Maison Margiela Replica. It was called Whispers in the Library. If you ever want to get your hands, if you like this candle and you want a perfume that's similar to that, the fragrance company Alt Fragrances, their perfume called Novel is supposed to be a dupe of Whispers in the Library. So just wanted to let you know. But oh, this candle is so good. You get it really makes you think of being in like an old library, kind of not dusty. That's not the word but it's like old academia. You get that tobacco note in here, but it's not a super sweet tobacco. The bourbon note is in here, but it's not a super boozy fragrance. There is that sandalwood and suede and amber and oak. Like all of those fragrances are in there. It's definitely what most people would, I think, consider to be a fragrance that leans a little bit masculine, but also it's unisex enough that like I said, like it reminds me of a perfume that I like to wear. Oh, it's just so good. And I will tell you that this fragrance, like a lot of Kringle candles, has had its variances in terms of strength and throw. So at the beginning of this fragrance or this candle's life, I noticed that the strength and throw on it was not as strong as I wanted it to be. It was probably around like between a 5 and a 6. But now that where am I at? I'm a little bit past the halfway mark on this. I have noticed the last 2 burns that I have done with this candle that it is much stronger. I would say it's about like another, like a 7.5. I still like to burn it in my bedroom because I feel like it's just a very nice, like it's a good bedroom scent. It would be fine anywhere in your house, but it's a really good bedroom scent. So that's where I've been burning it. But really, really been enjoying this candle. And I just dropped the lid. And I'm also really happy that I was able to get 2 more of these before it went out of stock, because I knew that this was a fragrance that was definitely backup worthy for me. Another fragrance from the Kringle Reserve line that I have been loving, and it pairs really nicely if you have Skull and Sonnet, is Smoke and Oak. This is my favorite fragrance from the 2024 Fall Reserve lineup. Fragrance notes in here are smoke, wood, bourbon, leather, amber, and fruit. So you can kind of see that there's a little bit of crossover between the two. However, they are very different fragrances. This one is it's a deeper and more robust fragrance in my opinion. It's definitely a little bit heavier on that boozy aspect. And a little bit smokier, I would say too. Like you do get some of the smoke, but the smoke in here is like, it's not like firewood smoke to my nose. It's kind of like pipe tobacco kind of smoke, which I don't know. I kind of like that. You guys, I don't know. Every once in a while, you guys met my husband, Cody. Last week, I had him on for my Kringle first sniffs with the Christmas lineup. And every once in a while, he and some of his guy friends, they'll do like some pipe tobacco outside. And oh, it's just, there's something that's just so like masculine and yummy about that. And there's something about this candle that definitely reminds me of this, of that fragrance. I don't really smell a ton of fruit in here, maybe a slight sweetness, but I do get some more of like that leather. And I think the amber note in here is what gives it a little bit more perfuminess. But this candle is also performing quite well for me. I burn it out here in the living room, and it's a good, I would say like between a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength and throw. But stay tuned. I will make sure that I do a dedicated post-burn review on that one. Let's take a little bit of a break from some of these Kringle candles. And I wanted to share with you just a couple of Bath & Body Works candles that have been in my rotation. I know I've already talked about a combination that I've been loving this fall has been Sweater Weather with Cuddle Weather. Those are great fragrances, and I'm still continuing to burn them. But another fragrance that I purchased for the I don't know, I've had this candle I think once before, and I don't think I loved it, but for whatever reason, I'm liking it a lot more this year. This is a fragrance that my kids convinced me to pick up because they liked it in store. This is Pumpkin Pecan Waffles, not a new fragrance. This is well beloved at Bath & Body Works. We have fragrance notes of maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, and brown sugar. Now, I purchased this candle before they pulled them all from the shelves, and then it looks like they went ahead and restocked them. But I really, really enjoyed this fragrance this time. And thankfully, I'm pretty sure I didn't get one of the wonky batches. I know that the reason that they pulled them was because some were not up to performance quality. But yeah, mine smells really good. It's very strong. I would give this one a good solid 8, 8.5. In terms of strength and throw. I love burning this one in the morning. We actually did have what I would call false fall here in Arizona. Last week we had temperatures, daytime highs in the mid 80s, which I know a lot of you guys are like, that's not fall. It kind of is here in Arizona. And I like to remind people we don't have humidity. So I know a lot of people here mid 80s and they're like, oh, that's still so hot. But it's a dry heat. So like in the mornings, it was around like 60 degrees, which was perfect. I opened up my windows. I lit this candle. It was great. I have been burning this with the, is it the maple pumpkin candle? That's a great combination. So I've really, really been enjoying this. And I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update. It's in my go back pile that I'm taking when I run some errands tomorrow. But I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update. I am actually going to be returning is it the pumpkin donut shop, that candle. So I lit it for the first time last week. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, that was an online exclusive. Was it an online exclusive? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was online exclusive. I got that candle in and I did not love it on cold sniff. It smelled very, very heavy of powdered sugar to my nose. And I was like, all right. But then I was reading people saying like, oh, it transforms so much upon burn. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. I lit it up, and you guys, the same thing that I have been having with quite a few Bath & Body Works candles this fall, puny wicks from the get-go. It struggled to pull out. I didn't even love the fragrance. So I was like, nope, this one's going back. So I did want to let you guys know that the pumpkin donut shop is a miss for me this year. And I actually think that I will probably exchange that candle for another pumpkin pecan waffles because my family just really, really likes this fragrance. And I've been liking it too. And I have enough other candles in my collection that I feel like I can pair it with for like another round once this one is finished up. So I did want to give you guys an update on that. Another candle that I have been burning from my Bath and Body Works collection is Coffee and Whiskey. You guys all know that I love this fragrance. Fragrance notes of bold Irish whiskey, splash of vanilla, hint of coffee. This one is not a boozy fragrance. You can see I'm actually probably like, I've got maybe one or two more burns. The only thing I don't like about this candle is that it burns pretty dirty in my opinion, but the wicks have been giving me a pretty solid performance, not having any real issues with that. So strength and throw is pretty good on it as well. I could see myself probably purchasing another one of these, hopefully if it sticks around through candle day or I get a really good sale coming up soon. I have really, really been trying to scale back and be very intentional about what I am purchasing right now. Again, I'll talk about that at the end of this video, but anyways, I do love this fragrance. And the reason why I have busted this fragrance out again is because it has paired really nicely with Kringle Candles Pumpkin Spice Latte. This was my second favorite fragrance that was released as part of the new fall reserves. We have fragrance notes of nutmeg, cinnamon, coffee, clove, vanilla, and cream. Now this candle on burn, you guys, I'm going to tell you, I've had mixed feelings about it. So upon the first couple of burns with this candle, I was getting a lot of sweetness, not as much of the coffee note coming out, and I was really, really enjoying it. And then I started to hit some pockets where I felt like I was getting more coffee note. And sometimes for me, the acidity of a coffee note mixed with like super, super sweet notes, sometimes to my nose just doesn't hit right. It comes across a little bit too acidic. There's just something that my nose doesn't always like, which is why I started to burn it with the coffee and whiskey, because I feel like that has a little bit more of like a creamy vanilla type of base to kind of tone down what I was feeling like was too much acidity and sweetness coming from this candle. So I do see myself continuing to burn this candle, but I will tell you that upon burn, I don't think this is a love for me. I do believe that it is currently sold out. So I'm not sure if they will be restocking it, but I definitely get that coffee note is very strong in here. I don't get a ton of clove, cinnamon, and I mean, clove, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Maybe that is kind of like the spicy element that's mixing with the coffee that just for me, for whatever reason, it's almost too much for my nose. And that's why I want something a little bit more neutral or like vanilla like to balance it out. But yeah, it's definitely a good performer for me. This candle, again, there have been times where this has been about an 8, and then there's been other times where it's around a 6. Like I said, I don't know why that is with a lot of these 2-wick large formats on the Kringle vessels, but I am about at the halfway point on this candle. Again, I don't know if they're going to restock it. Let me know if you still want me to do a dedicated post-burn review on this candle. That way I just have one in my collection database in case they bring this candle back. But I don't know. It's a good scent, but it's not going to be a repurchase for me. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't take the step to order any backups of it. Now, talking about a Kringle Reserve fragrance that I am so glad that I bought backups of is a 2023 fall release, and that is Great Pumpkin. I know so many people are like, why will they not bring this one back? Kringle, hear me out. You have got to bring this fragrance back. Please bring it back either in like the reserve lineup again, or put it in, I don't care if you even repackage it in another collection next year for fall, but this fragrance is incredible. I don't have the fragrance notes listed on the bottom of this candle. If you are a fan of Homeworx's Farm Stand Pumpkin, you're going to like this. They're not the exact same fragrance, but they're in that same fragrance family where it's just a good gourmand pumpkin scent, but it's not heavy on any kind of pumpkin spice. It's a warm pumpkin scent, but it's very generic in the best way, where it just amplifies so many other fall fragrances that I currently have in my collection. So I have actually been burning this one as well with that pumpkin spice latte, because again, I feel like this scent is a little bit more neutral and grounded in its what would I say, in its performance, not performance, what's the word I'm looking for? In its I don't know, I'll think of the word, but like in how it performs and how it comes across, its identity, I would say, is just, it's more neutral, just a great neutral, creamy pumpkin type of fragrance. That's the way that I would put it, but it's not a white pumpkin, because oftentimes when we hear creamy pumpkin, we think of white pumpkin. It's not a white pumpkin fragrance. Oh, but this one is so good. So last year I went through one of these and I bought two backups, and I'm so glad that I did, because oh, this one's really good. So this, I will probably burn through this one this season and still hold on to the other one, because I just love this fragrance so very, very, very much. So let's see here. What else do I have? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get through like all of these candles. I might switch it up a little bit here and share with you guys the Homeworx candles that I recently came into my collection. So two are repurchases and then two are brand new to me. So one of the candles that I did repurchase is my beloved Autumn Pumpkin. I did do a dedicated post-burn review on this. Fragrance notes on Autumn Pumpkin are pumpkin, orange, cardamom, cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg. This candle performs so well for me. It's very versatile. In fact, you will see that you'll see in my empties video this weekend that I did already finish the first Autumn Pumpkin that I have. Again, it's very versatile. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit of like an orange or a citrus mixed with this that makes this a little bit more of like a brighter pumpkin type of fragrance than, say, their farm stand pumpkin scent. But this has been one of my favorite scents from Homeworx for years. It pairs so nicely with a lot of their other fragrances like Harvest Leaves or the other candle that I'm about to show you here. But I did purchase another one of these. And then I did go ahead and purchase another Haunted Apple Nights. This has been one of the fragrances that has performed the best for me from the new fall 2024. I don't want to say collection, but like of all of the new releases that they have given or that they have put out this season, this has been one of the best performers, which is why I was really surprised when I saw in the Homeworx Facebook group, which I help moderate. And everybody, please know, you're always welcome to give your genuine and authentic experience. I'm never going to censor that or anything like that. But I was really surprised to see a couple of people say that this one was not performing well for them. And I was like, wow, that was one of the strongest candles that I have already tried. I gave it an excellent review. Fragrance notes on this are crimson apple, blood orange, black vanilla, and blackberry. I did say that this is a fragrance that if you happen to like Bath & Body Works Leaves, it's not the same fragrance, but there are similarities to it that I think that you would really, really appreciate and enjoy. Slightly more elevated take, I would say, on Leaves, but I knew that I wanted another one of these in my collection, so I did go ahead and purchase it. And then here's a fragrance that will also be a repurchase for me. This is Pumpkin Cold Brew. This is a candle that I initially passed on when it was offered in PR because honestly, I just saw the cold brew and I kind of fixated on the coffee. Now, I did have this burning. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the wax had solidified before I turned it upside down. I did have this candle burning this morning. Fragrance notes on this are sweet pumpkin, espresso, toffee, vanilla cream. I'm going to tell you guys, I don't really get an espresso note at all in this fragrance. I do get the pumpkin, the toffee, and the vanilla cream. And I will say that the way that this is done is glorious. I really, really like this. Maybe the coffee, I mean, whatever they're listing as an espresso note in here, maybe that is coming across almost maybe slightly, I want to say like slightly chocolatey, but it's not something that my nose instantly recognizes as like, oh, this is chocolate. This is an excellent gourmand pumpkin warmth. I feel like there is a fragrance somewhere in my past that this reminds me of. I do think that the pumpkin note that they're using in this candle is very similar. My friend Connor said the same thing, that it's very similar to the pumpkin note that they're using in Autumn Pumpkin, which is why I think I like this so much. But this is a little bit more like makes you feel like warm and cozy. Whereas like Autumn Pumpkin, here's how I would put it. Autumn Pumpkin, I feel like is a fall fragrance that you can burn on a nice sunny fall day or whatnot. This is one that like totally fits the vibe if you've got like a rainy fall day or a cloudy overcast. There's something about this that just feels slightly cozier. But yeah, I get that creaminess of the vanilla in there. and a little bit of a toffee note. And we all know that Harry Slatkin does those notes very, very, very well. So yeah, this one is actually going to be a repurchase for me. I will plan to put up a dedicated post-burn review on this one pretty soon for all of you, but I did want to let you guys know that I am on the hype train with this one. I know a lot of my fellow content creators have really been talking this one up, and the hype is real, you guys. This fragrance is really, really good, and I definitely need more of it in my collection. And then another fragrance that is not new to the Homeworx lineup, but it's the first time I have ever had it, is Spiced Vanilla Pumpkin. Now, the reason why I purchased this is because I actually purchased this fragrance in the hand soap at my local Marshall's, and I really like it in the hand soap, so I thought, why not? Let's give it a try in the candle. Fragrance notes here are pumpkin, warm caramel, vanilla bean, and ginger. Now, this is a much sweeter pumpkin fragrance. You definitely detect I do get the caramel note in here for sure. Harry Slatkin loves to mix caramel in a lot of his gourmand scents. But truthfully, even though caramel, I typically don't like the way that Kringle does it. Bath and Body Works, hit or miss. Both of those, the reason that, and you guys know this, I've said this multiple times, that the way that those two companies do caramel sometimes comes across to my nose kind of scorched and burned, whereas Harry's is oftentimes very sweet and authentic to me, I guess. So, oh, this one's really good though. But this is more, yeah, like how it says spiced vanilla pumpkin. You do get, it's not like a creamy vanilla. There is a spiciness to it, but there is more of like a vanilla base mixed with a pumpkin. I feel like this is more of like a white pumpkin type of fragrance with a little bit of caramel in it. It's very, very sweet. I like it. It's not going to be backup worthy for me, but this one is performing well for me, as is the pumpkin cold brew candle. So both of these I have been burning recently, and I do plan to upload some dedicated post-burn thoughts on those. And then I did want to, let's see, I have two more. What else do I have here? I've just got candles all around me here. I did want to share some thoughts on one more of the Kringle Reserve fragrances. This is Apple Brandy. I think this one was my least favorite. Was this one my least favorite, or was it the Moss one? I can't remember. I didn't really love this one on cold sniff. Fragrance notes here are apple, brandy, spice, sweet, wood. Now, I will tell you, I've burned this one about a third of the way down, and I will say that this fragrance to me, when it is burning, is a lot more tolerable than what I smell on cold sniff. On cold sniff, I think it was the brandy note was very, very boozy to me, almost coming across a little bit sour, and I was not liking it. But I will say that upon burn, this one is a lot nicer. That boozy note kind of takes a back seat. The sweet apple note really comes forward on it. It doesn't lose its booziness. It doesn't lose its identity, I would say, but it is a little bit more well balanced upon burn. Strength and throw is pretty decent on this one, 6.5, 7. I'm finding that with the exception of that Japanese maple fragrance, and then there's one candle that I haven't even burned yet, the performance on these reserve candles, this latest round of reserve candles, is pretty good. Like I just said, that Japanese maple is the only one that I'm really surprised by how well, or like how not well it's performing. But the other ones that I have tried have all been pretty good and consistent in their performance. That being said, you guys, I will do my dedicated thoughts on this, but we'll talk about this at the end of this video, but I could see myself maybe passing this one on to a friend. I don't know. We'll see. I like it. I don't love it, but I also think that that might also be my mindset with where I am at in the season of candle burning. And like I said, I'll talk about that in a few minutes. The other fragrance that I wanted to talk about is a Halloween candle, Thirst, from the 2024 lineup. Fragrance notes here of wood, cognac, patchouli, pepper, amber, and tonka. The more that I burn this candle, the more I really like it. Now, that being said, I want it to be stronger. This candle is not very strong for me. I would give it about a 5 in terms of strength and throw. It does okay in a bedroom. That's typically where I will burn it. But if I burn it out here in the open concept living room with the higher ceilings, it does tend to get a little bit lost. But it's burning well for me. This fragrance definitely has some of that. I smell that patchouli in here, but it's not dirty hippie patchouli. I get the cognac, a little bit of that booziness. It's woody on the top, but you've got a little bit of base of that tonka. There's perfuminess of amber. It's very nice. It's another one of those like deep, sophisticated type of fragrances. It almost reminds me of a perfume that I smelled in my childhood at some point. My mom liked really like deep, bold perfumes, and there's something about this that reminds me of that. But It also kind of in a weird way gives you, like, if you've ever seen the show like Mad Men, it kind of gives you those type of vibes too. Um, so if you tend to like more like sophisticated, maybe borderline traditionally masculine type of scents, I think that you would like this. But this isn't masculine like in terms of like, um, I think it's the booziness of the cognac that kind of does that. I think it was Jared that said that if you liked from the what was it, the St. Patrick's Day collection, there was a candle called, like, I think Aaron Gilbra, and he said if you happen to have liked that fragrance, you're gonna like this one. So that has been that so far. So I think I talked about all of the candles that I have here in front of me. So I did just want to share just a couple of extra thoughts here. So I am in the Facebook groups over on, we'll address Kringle, I guess, first here. So I have been seeing that there's been a little bit of chatter about some shipping delays with Kringle recently, and some people are upset. And I always want to say this, you guys, if your opinions are always valid. I feel like, some people, when you pay for a product, you want it to ship out in a short time period. I totally get that. I do know that there's a little bit of frustration right now. I feel like Kringle has released a lot of things back to back to back to back, and in combination with a lot of great sales. I think that, I don't know if it's just how their calendar fell or whatnot, but I do know that there are some people who are just a little bit less than happy right now. And I did just want to go on and remind quite a few of you guys that while your feelings are very, very valid, I do know that they have a very small shipping department. They're trying to do things as fast as they can. I do, part of me, I'm going to be honest, I think part of them, maybe they did bite off a little bit more than they can chew. One of the great things that I do love about Kringle, though, is that they have always been so wonderful about feedback. And so maybe if a couple of you guys have said, like, hey, it was just too much too soon, maybe in the future you guys need to rethink that. I know there's been some commentary that, like, they should just hire more people, but and again, this might come to some people as me, like I'm defending them or whatever. But I will tell you, my husband works in an occupation where he usually trains new employees or like new he's a lineman by trade. He works people. Whenever I say that, they're like, what team does he play for? And I'm like, no, like he keeps your power on, like with power lines and whatnot. So oftentimes he's training apprentices coming in. And then we also have a lot of friends who are business owners. And I'm going to refer back to, again, Melanie said her husband's a business owner. You guys, it's very, very easy for us to all say, oh, they should just go out and hire new people. But the problem is that if you've talked to a lot of business owners right now, they're saying we need workers. But the problem that they are running into is that a lot of workers just want to show up and collect a paycheck, but they don't want to put any work in. High turnover rates in a lot of places. And that can be even further that difficulty can be further amplified if you live in an area that's not a major metropolitan area, or if your business is located not right in the middle of a city or whatnot. Like, I know where we live, we have friends who are small business owners, and they say we're having a really hard time getting employees because we live in a rural area, and just some employee, like they said, it is really difficult to get good employees. So I do just always want to throw that out there, that I know in our minds sometimes we think like, well, they could just hire, but I don't know. But then I also see the other side, that it's like, okay, you guys ran maybe too many sales. I think they were trying to get things done. Regardless, you guys will be getting your packages here pretty soon. Me personally, you guys, I have so many candles that I could already be burning. And I know oftentimes when I'm buying candles, they're usually for like next season, or I'm not planning to burn them right away. So I'm not usually chomping at the bit to get them right away. But I definitely do understand some of the frustrations. And so I did want to put that out there, because I think that sometimes we as ambassadors, we catch so much flack. We're like, darned if we do, darned if we don't. If we address it, we look like we're like either defending the company or we're not coming down hard enough on the company. But then on the other side, like, I don't know, like it was hard because I was seeing like a lot of comments, which truthfully I kind of agree with. It's not always a great look when like you're launching a new collection and you're getting PR to ambassadors. Like I get it. Like I really, really do. And truthfully, I told you guys in that video, I was like, it's a little bit too early for me to be getting any kind of Christmas stuff. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it, but also I know that there are other things coming down the pipeline in terms of production, and they had to do that. But I personally would have been totally fine if they would have left it until October to do. But oh well, it's not me. I don't run the company. But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. The other thing that I wanted to address is with some of the Homeworx candles, I've been seeing a lot of people, and I've touched on this in one of my Homeworx candle reviews, but in case, I know not everybody watches all of those dedicated reviews. So I did want to give you guys maybe a little bit of some tips with some of these Homeworx candles. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, like, they get these candles and they light them up on the first one and they're like, they have puny wicks and they're not pulling out and whatnot. So I've always said this in the dedicated reviews, but a lot of these new Homeworx candles, you do want to make sure that upon first burn, you want to make sure you probably have a 4 to 5 hour window to allow them to achieve a max pull. Because what I am noticing with a lot of these wicks is that the first burn, the wicks appear like they are going to dud out. They're very puny. They're a very low flame, and therefore you don't get a really good strength and throw. I will tell you that usually about 3 burns in, these candles, there's something about the wicks that changes on them about like the third burn, I would say, where I notice that the flames come to life a little bit more. The wicks are not going to be super long and falling over. Other than, there's only been 2 fragrances that I've gotten recently, the apple pie cookie and then the apple pumpkin pie. Both of those fragrances have pretty strong wild wicks from the get-go. But a lot of these other ones, they are taking a couple of burns for them to really reach their full potential, which means that they're also taking a couple of burns to really give that strength and throw output that I personally have desired. So I did want to just let you guys know that they do take quite a while to pull out on the very first burn, but I have noticed that successive burns, they tend to pull out a little bit faster. So I did just want to throw that out there for all of you. The other thing that I did want to let you guys know is that I was talking to our ambassador contact, or like affiliate program contact, about a month ago, because some of us were talking about, like, hey, how come people are not able to use their rewards, or we're not able to use our affiliate codes with a lot of these good sales. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I think the understanding I was getting from them was that it looks like moving forward, a lot of these sales, I think it's determined by maybe the contract that they have with like whoever like designs their website and handles the checkout process. That for them, I guess the format that they're going with is, a lot of the time for a lot of their good sales, they already have like a code that applies, which means that for a lot of these really good sales, you're probably not going to be able to combine affiliate discount codes with them. However, it does appear that I've noticed it on the last couple of sales that people have been able to use their rewards points. So I feel like at least that part got rectified, which I'm happy with. People should always be able to use their rewards when they accumulate them with any of these candle brands for loyalty. So I'm happy to see that it looks like so far that has shifted. So if you're hoping to be able to combine affiliate codes, it doesn't look like those days are coming back as of right now. Who knows? They might surprise me, but that was just kind of the gist I was getting. But it does look like the rewards codes are now in place to be able to be used in combination with sales. So that is a good thing. And then the final thing that I just wanted to give you guys, maybe a little bit of like a life update, but it also kind of goes hand in hand with just how I'm moving forward with my channel and whatnot, is that most of you guys know that I have 3 children. They are 15, almost 13, and 10. And oh my word, you guys, I am extremely busy. For any of you guys who have already gone through this stage of life, you guys know my 15-year-old is a sophomore in high school this year. She doesn't drive yet, and she plays sports. And if we're not going and shuttling her to her practices and her swim meets, she's wanting to cheer on her friends who play volleyball and football and all of those things. So I'm shuttling her to all of those things. My son is starting to take some music lessons. And then my youngest daughter, she's also taking music lessons, but she decided this year that she wanted to play soccer. So yeah, I'm in my like full on soccer mom. I am just the chauffeur mode right now. I mean, my oldest, like, she's eligible to get her permit, and we haven't even had time to schedule that for her to take her test for that. So I have been very, very busy. So if you notice on my channel that maybe if my uploading becomes a little bit inconsistent, just know that it is because while I enjoy this is very much still a hobby for me, and I enjoy my interaction with all of you. I enjoy getting these reviews out for a lot of you guys, and really just the community that we have here. Just know though that this is a hobby, and this is also another phase of my life that I know that I will miss this at some point, and so I want to make sure that I'm soaking it all in and being there for my family members. So if you just happen to notice that maybe my uploads aren't as on schedule as they have been in the past, that is probably why. I'm totally fine. If you guys notice, if you follow me over on Instagram, that has just totally fallen by the wayside, because honestly, Instagram doesn't come as naturally to me as producing YouTube content. But yeah, just been very, very busy. But what goes hand in hand with that is what I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up with as well, is that something that I have been striving to find with this channel as it grows is being able to find this balance. I know I've hinted at this, between making sure that I am reviewing new product for all of you, but also keeping it at a place where I am genuinely enjoying fragrances that I know that I love. And really, in particular, this time of year through, I would say, like early January, there are certain fragrances that bring back, that I have a lot of scent memory to. And so therefore, there's a lot of nostalgia tied to this time of year for me. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I am not, I don't want to say I'm not as open, but I'm not as open-minded in burning new fragrances during this time of year as I am, say, in the spring and summer months, because I want to make sure that I'm enjoying the candles that I really love. And just being very truthful with you guys, I very, very much appreciate PR being sent to me. I very much, like, I appreciate it a lot, but I'm also finding myself spending so much time trying to review new stuff that there are fragrances that I really, really love sitting on my shelf that I'm like, I really want to enjoy those. So I might do something a little bit controversial here, and I hope you guys don't come for me, but I do think that there are some fragrances that I might just be decluttering from the outset. And by decluttering, the reason why I'm going to be doing that is because there are some fragrances that I get that just on cold sniff, I don't love them. They almost turn into hate burns for me, or I'm like, well, I feel like I have to review this candle. But I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I'm like, you know what? But there are other ambassadors who also receive this candle and they like the fragrance a little bit more. And you know what? I'm going to give it to them to go ahead and do the post burn reviews. You know what I get approached with? Like I said, I live in a small community, but it's a very loving community, and a very I would say we're coming into a time of year where we have a lot of charity things going on, and I have been approached a couple of times by people who organize these events to say, like, hey, do you have any candles or anything that you would like to donate, where maybe we could use them in a silent auction or as part of our raffle or whatnot. And I think that that's the route I'm going to go with. I do know I'm putting this out there for you guys because there are a couple of candles that I received in that Kringle Christmas collection that I don't love them on cold snip. And if there's any season that I am like, if there were only 5 candles I could burn for Christmas, these are the 5. Like, I really, really, Christmas time, I have a hard time burning new fragrances. There's a couple of candles in there that I'm like, I don't love them. And I would just much rather them go brand new, unburned, to a charitable organization or something like that. And then who knows? Like I've always said, somebody else might fall in love with the brand because they won this candle at a raffle or something like that. So anyways, all of that to just say, like, please don't come for me next week when you see my declutter, because there might be some candles that there's actually going to be quite a few of them, you guys, that I just feel a little bit overwhelmed by how many are in my collection that I don't love. They're not sparking joy for me. And I'm just really wanting to get back to finding that balance between reviewing new stuff, but also enjoying the things that really spark joy for me. So anyways, I did want to let you guys know all of that. I think I've talked enough now. You guys let me know in the comment box down below. Do you have experience with any of these candles? Feel free to chime in too in the comment section if you have any particular feelings about, you know, some of the shipping delays, or maybe the new code, like the coupon usage with Slatkin and Co. I haven't even really been keeping up with Bath and Body Works, to be honest with you. All of the new stuff that they've had, you guys know my burn experiences with them have been very hit or miss. But I do hope to make sure that I get my monthly empties. That's another thing, you guys. I missed my bi-monthly empties. I was just so busy. I didn't even have time to film an empties in the middle of the month. So it'll be a longer empties video this week. But yeah, I got a lot going on, but feel free to comment down below. I hope you guys enjoy these candle chats, and I hope it didn't come across as negative or me feeling like I'm complaining. That's not it at all. I just always like to be very genuine and authentic with you guys and let you guys know this is where I'm coming from. And I don't want you guys to be caught off guard if you happen to see that next week I might be decluttering a couple of candles that you're like, wow, I really love that fragrance, or I'm surprised to see that one go. But that is where my heart is in all of that. So please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Subscribe if you're new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.